Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time you're watching this. You are indeed back on the My Football Writer YouTube channel with myself, Jack Wright, and CFC Pain on Norwich images that precede unfortunate events on Twitter/X. Now, my last video, the manager tier list, went down an absolute storm, so I thought, why not? Let's bring it back again. And today, we're going to be ranking Norwich's all-time number 9s. Not a controversial subject at all. We've had some fantastic number 9s over the years. It's time to separate the wheat from the chaff. It's time to pick out which forwards are going to be remembered and etched into history and which are going to be forgotten to obscurity. Now, how do I define number 9s? Very simply, anyone who had a squad number of 9 at some point in their Norwich career. I'm going all the way back to 1993. There's probably a reason for that, but I'll explain. So, without further ado, let's get into the list. Okay, right. Here's what we're going to go with today. So, top tier, Ballon d'Or. Yeah, it's a stretched pun, I'll give you that. But anyone who is the upper echelon, ultimate, legend, unbeatable, brilliant, no notes. In the second tier, decent bloke, yeah, someone who will be mildly remembered fondly and did very, very well, but maybe just is, just a little bit below. Rommel boy, here. You'll get what I mean. Shooting practice, they'll definitely need to be down at Colney in the morning. And the bottom tier, useless. That usually follows another word that rhymes with mutton and starts with F, but we don't say that on this channel. So, let's crack into it and start from oldest first. Let's start with Chrissy Sarge. Oh, Chris. What a fantastic pundit you've become, sort of. Obviously, Norwich Academy grad, part of that brilliant team that finished third in the Premier League. Ended up scoring 25 goals in a season. I seem to believe this was before I was born. I'm, doing my research in advance. Became a British record transfer fee for £5 million when we sold him. We sold him. I don't know, in terms of his Norwich career, I mean, he's very good, incredibly good. But I think maybe if we hadn't have sold him and we, would have kept him, he probably would have had a few more seasons and probably would have gone on to be an all-time great. I think he's still our all-time Premier League goal scorer. I think so. I'm going with that. I'm going to stick him in decent bloke, and he's going to be very close to Ballon d'Or. Let's go with that. Gary Megson at a number 9. That can't be right. Well, it turns out that Gary Megson also had the number 4, number 6, and the number 12. But very clearly a midfielder, very clearly not a striker, very clearly not in the same category as any of these other players. Am I basing it based on how good he was as a number 9 specifically? I can't do that. Let's put him in Rommel boy. Keep him there, because again, fantastic servant in the same team, same style, same level of success, but must have been at a time where they were chopping and changing who had the squad number every game. Oh, the 90s. Mark Robbins, the current Coventry manager, and the player to score 2 goals. The player to score on the opening day of the Premier League against Arsenal in a 4-2 comeback. He's also the first Englishman to score a hat-trick in the Premier League. Again, a very fond legend of the club. Is he, the upper tier? Or is he, well, he's definitely not useless. I love Mark Robbins. Again, it's a bit before my time, so maybe this is controversial, but I don't care. I'm going to put him in decent bloke because I don't think he had the tenure to be a legend. Unlike this man right here, Ewan Roberts. Oh, Ewan. Yeah, I'm putting you straight into Ballon d'Or. There's not really any competition here. The Welsh wizard, the boy from Bangor, the man who all he wanted for Christmas was, of course, it's right, 2 teeth. Synonymous with Norwich in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Was inducted into the Hall of Fame when he was still playing. Our third highest record goal scorer, behind Johnny Gavin and Terry Alcock, I think. Probably. Yeah, very firmly at the top. No notes, no competition there. Now, Matthias Johnson. I'm going to level with you. I'd completely forgotten his existence, which is indicative of how this list is going to go for him. Made 30 appearances in 2004-05 and scored a total of 0. Yeah, he's useless, isn't he? Yeah. There's no competition there. Dean Marnie. Anyway, turns out Dean Marnie was a Norwich number 9. Who'd have thought it? Made 13 appearances in a half season before getting injured. No goals from midfield. I don't remember his existence, and it was pretty pointless, so you can't go anywhere else other than useless. Dion Dublin. Dion. He's just a legend, isn't he? He is a legend. I mean, forget Homes Under the Hammer and Football Focus, all that. He won the Barry Butler, which is good, but scoring, I think it was about 10 goals in 70 appearances during a very dark time during the club. Is that good? I mean, obviously he retired with us, and obviously there was that famous time at Hillsborough where everyone gave him a standing ovation. He's a great guy, but I'm going to say shooting practice. Just for his Norwich career. Forget everything that he achieved at like Villa and Coventry and United. For Norwich, it was just at a time where we just weren't very good, and he was all right. It just wasn't upper echelon, I'd say. Chris Killen. Did I have to Google whether he played for us? Yes, I absolutely did. And let me tell you, I cannot find a single picture of him playing for Norwich. That shows you how obscure this is. He's going straight into useless, because can any Norwich fans remember him playing? I can't. Really, I can't. Wow, we're really going through the dregs here. Yeah, now we're going to have to do Grant Holt. Yeah, he's useless, isn't he? I am, of course, joking. He is my absolute favourite footballer of all time. Captain, leader, legend. Scored 3 goals against, looked like he was going to score every time he was on the pitch. Took us from League One all the way to the Premier League and never got relegated with Norwich, which is a very weird occurrence in the modern era, to be honest. He can't go anywhere else other than Ballon d'Or hook. Bite me. And the man who inherited Grant Holt's number 9 shirt at Norwich, Ricky. Oh, Ricky. You were a symbol of hope. You were at a time where Norwich thought we would actually compete. We were signing big players, Leroy Fer, Martin Olsen, Johan Elmander. And you were one of them. You were the poster boy. 2 goals, I think, for our £8 million investment. Oh, Ricky. I really wanted it to work for Ricky. I think everyone wanted it to work for Ricky, but it just didn't. And there's always going to be question marks over whether him playing under another manager that wasn't Houghton, would he have actually performed? Yeah. Sorry, Ricky. You've done very well afterwards, to be fair, but yeah, bottom tier, I'm afraid. Kyle Lafferty. Pretty much a disaster from start to finish, I'm afraid. Played most of his career out on the wing for Norwich. Went out on loan to Turkey because he wasn't really favoured. I think he scored 2 goals. Shooting practice or useless? Yeah, useless. Yeah, I don't care. Dear mercy, Umbakani. Oh, what a man. Didn't speak a word of English, but was just... He is ultimately streets won't forget. I think he's not going to be upper echelon anywhere near these two because obviously we got relegated and he didn't score enough. But I think he finished with our record score of that season. I think he got 9-ish. He's a Rummel boy, is what he is. That's firmly what he is. Nelson Oliveira. I really love Nelson. He's a fantastic player when he was there. He's just a little bit fiery, and we have a knack for hiring fiery players. And he didn't really get on with Farker that much. It was inevitable that he wasn't going to be part of that fantastic promotion season. He obviously will be remembered for 2 seasons of obscurity in the Championship. He's the very definition of a Rummel boy. There's no other way to put it, really. Jordan Hugel. Oh, Jordan, what a man. Came in as number 2 to obviously not number 9, number 22 in Timu Pukki. And he was just a good lad. He just did his job when he was there. Never really started that often. Was then under Dean Smith's stewardship where he was told he was surplus to requirements. A very good bench warmer, scored a few goals and is now relegated with Rotherham in League One. So, is he Rummel boy? I'm going to say shooting practice, just because he could have scored more, but maybe he could have made more appearances. Maybe that's just me being mean. And finally, our current number 9. The American legend that is Josh Sargent. Now, when we signed him, obviously he was a bit of an enigma, to be honest, all over the place, being played as a winger, being generally quite all over the place. Did score a scorpion kick against Watford, but overall his first few seasons were pretty abject. And then in the Championship, he seemed to have found his form. And this season, the very reason why we haven't succeeded was because he wasn't in the team. And the very fear of him being sold is frightening. I don't think he's not Ballon d'Or, but I definitely think, he's decent bloke. I think if he gets a 30-goal season this season, which will definitely happen, he might go out to Ballon d'Or. But for now, decent bloke, room for improvement. So, what does this say about Norwich's number 9 situation? Well, we've definitely had some legends over the years, and I think it's definitely peaks and troughs. I think you can definitely see here the 90s going into the 2000s was prosperous. going into the late 2000s was not so prosperous, and then a lot of ups and downs and ups and downs. The number 9 is definitely a hallowed shirt. Whether Josh will keep it for next season, fingers crossed. But what were your thoughts? Have I completely butchered this? I know you all had a go at me for my manager ranking, but is there anyone that you would change? Is there perhaps any players that I've missed? Obviously, I haven't done it all the way back into the 1800s, so there's probably some 9s back then, but let us know your thoughts. Comment down below, and of course subscribe, like, and keep on enjoying the content from the My Football Writer YouTube channel.